It's Carter Sports back, and today we head back out to USC for part 2 of the spring installation. Today we talking about offensive staff versus defensive staff. So let's go. And if you been here before, please hit that like, please. And if you ain't subscribed, boy, you better subscribe.
Disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Trojan family, Trojan gang, Fight On Forever is in the building. And today we gonna talk about offensive staff versus the defensive staff. We about to line them up pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? It's been on my mind since we made all the defensive hires. What staff is better? We know Riley offensive staff put up points. Is it all Riley? Is it his staff mates? We know about Lynn, this new group, so I decided to line them up and see who I'm in favor in. Cause this is a good question. You know what I'm saying? You got Lincoln Riley. We know our offense prolific, but with this new defensive staff, I mean, they might be up for the challenge. You hear me? So first up, we gonna start at the top. Lincoln Riley versus DeAnton Lynn. Now your boy Riley, he got the resume advantage for sure. Been coaching 19 years as the head coach. Multiple Heisman runner-up, playoff experience. He killing Lynn with the resume. But Lynn got the head-to-head. His defense dismantled the Trojan offense last year. We see what happened. USC can do nothing against his offense. Against Lynn defense. But Riley experience and resume wins out. And then plus his weak offensive line made his scheme futile. If your offensive line can't block worth a damn, can't pass block or run block, it don't matter what your offensive scheme is. So part of that we can say that's Riley fault. His offensive line ain't right. When I'm looking at Riley versus Lynn, I'm looking at X's and O's. You know what I'm saying? And I still feel like what Riley experienced in his resume, I still gotta give him the advantage, even though Lynn is up 1-0 on the field. You know what I'm saying? So, but I gotta get it to Lincoln Riley. 1 year of greatness can't beat multiple years of consistently being great at offense. It just can't beat it. But we gonna see in the future. We gonna see about these practice. So, we don't know if Lynn really out-schemed him or not when his defensive line was wrecking every play to begin with. So I give that one to Riley, to the offense. Next, I got Josh Henson, offensive line coach, versus Eric Henderson, defensive line coach. Now, Josh Henson has recruited very well. Now it's time to see if he developed his kids. He had 2 classes, and I like the classes on paper. So now it's time, and we really finna see what he's like as a coach, overall recruiter and developer. Because the players that preceded him, the offensive line that preceded him, these other couple years, them wasn't necessarily his guys. He didn't recruit them guys, but they struggled, and it seemed like they regressed. So I don't know if it wasn't the talent or was it Henson. I don't know, but now it ain't no excuses. We gonna see. He got his kids in the program. He got 2 recruiting classes in. He got 1 class. He going on the 2nd year of developing. So this next year and the year after that, we really gonna see what Josh Henson is really about. Eric Henderson, on the other hand, we know what Eric Henny about. Super Bowl champ, coach of Aaron Donald, probably the greatest defensive tackle. It is the greatest defensive tackle of all time, and maybe the greatest defensive lineman, period. He turned the 3rd round draft pick, Kobe Turner, into a beast. And he just got the reputation as being the best, period. I mean, we all know about Coach Henny right now. So all we got to see with him, how good can he recruit? That's the only question mark, because he coming from the NFL. But we know his development is A1. And his recruiting gonna at least be average. It's his resume. He gonna get some guys. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get some guys. Super Bowl champ. So I got to give him the edge. And he an NFL coach. He coached at the highest level and earned the reputation as the best defensive line coach in the league. So there's no way Josh Henny, you can put Josh Henson over Eric Henry. No way. So I got to give that advantage to Eric Henderson to the defense. So what is 1-1 now? Wide receiver coach versus the DB coach. Dennis Simmons versus Doug Belt. Now this is a good one. You know what I'm saying? This is a good one. Because Dennis Simmons has sent a couple wide receivers to the NFL. I think he sent Hollywood Brown. I'm not sure about CeeDee Lamb. Let me know in the comments. Did he coach CeeDee Lamb? We know he had Jordan Addison for a year, but he was already who he was. Taj Washington had a good year this year. Brandon Rice. I mean, I can say Brandon Rice got better. I don't know what happened to Dorian Singer. He a good recruiter. I mean, the last year class was sick. I mean, Zachariah, Makai Lemon, Deuce Robinson, Jacoby Lane. Nice little wide receiver class. This year we only got one, Xavier Jordan. I think the NIL kind of hurt us with a couple wide receivers in this year's class. His recruiting, I don't know. He seemed like a laid back guy. I heard he a laid back recruiter. He's not an aggressive recruiter. He ain't gonna call you every day and text you every day. You know what I'm saying? He ain't bring that much energy. He more laid back and is confident. Like, come to me, I'm gonna coach you up. I'm this and I'm that. He don't necessarily got, an edge to his personality. He that laid back dude. So that might work with some kids and some kids it don't. In 2023 it worked with the Zachariah class. This year it wasn't working good enough compared to years past, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And then Doug Belt, he sent 4 DBs to the NFL in 5 years out of Houston, right? And he coached up under Nick Saban. So he can recruit and develop, right? So if you send the guys in the NFL, it don't matter what stars they was in high school. You a good recruiter. You seen a recruit that was either rated properly or underrated and sent him to the NFL. Most definitely. So I get an edge to Doug Belt, man, because I feel like it's tougher to send players to the NFL out of Houston, and he sent 4 in 5 years that directly had his name on it. Now, Dennis Simmons, I think he probably sent like 4 wide receivers, but it ain't been in 5 years. And then it's easier to send players to the NFL out of Oklahoma and USC than it is out of Houston. So I gotta get an edge to Doug Belt. Then you got the running back coach, Anthony Jones. You know what I'm saying? Versus Matt Ince, the linebacker coach. This is another good one too. Anthony Jones, another coach with a resume of sending players to the NFL. All his starting running backs has rushed for 1,000 yards out of TCU. Again, TCU get talent, but they still ain't getting the first pick. Like if you at USC, Ohio State, that's a bigger name and bigger brand than TCU. Even though TCU ain't nothing to play with, but to be able to produce 1,000-yard running backs every year out of TCU, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It ain't as impressive, I say, as doing it from Houston, but that's pretty good, right? Matt Ince, I mean, he won 2 national championships. He a winner. He head coach for like 6-7 years and won 2 natties at North Dakota State, right? To where I'm pretty sure at that level, at the top of that level, is probably a lot of parity probably at the top. So I don't think North Dakota State is just elite, had way more talent than everybody else in their division, even though they're a national championship program on their level. So I gotta get it the advantage to Matt Ince for the simple fact he's a head coach. He can run the whole team. He got experience of running the whole team. Anthony Jones has been a running back coach. Matt Ince been the head coach in a 2-time national championship at that. So I gotta give him the edge. So what's that? I see Henderson, Belk, and Matt Ince that's 3-1. That's 3-1 so far. Then we got Zach Hanson versus Sean Newell, tight end coach versus the edge coach. Zach Hanson, a good recruiter, don't know about his development. Tight ends hasn't seen much production, but they have often been injured. I say that USC they had a lot of injuries to the tight end. He recruit cool, like he got Eldridge, he got Lyons, he got Olsen, he got Walter Matthews. He can recruit, but can he develop? That's the question. Can he develop? Then you got Sean Newell, another good recruiter. Shelby, Fountain, Peavy. You know what I'm saying? That's a good duo edge. Even though I know Roy Manning was recruiting these kids as well when he was the edge coach, but I'm pretty sure the edge coach and the defensive line coach working cohesion. I'm pretty sure he had words to say and was a part of recruiting these kids. And I like Sean Newell, his swag. Like when you listen to him talk, he the type of coach you would want to play for too, right? So resume, I gotta give it to Newell. Even though I like Hanson recruiting, I feel like he's a better recruiter. Developer, I gotta give Newell the edge because the tight ends ain't really did nothing. I know Corey Foreman didn't do nothing. Anthony Lucas is still out there for debate. But Solomon Byrd played well. Tui kept improving. So I gotta get that edge to Newell. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like our edge rushers on the field, has outplayed the tight end. So that's the main reason I gotta give it to Newell. So tally all that up, the edge to the defensive staff. I gotta give this one to the defensive staff. 4-1, but it's a close 4-1. You know what I'm saying? What 4-2? I think I took Lincoln Riley over D'Anton Lynn. And what's the other offensive coach that I took? What's the other one? Dennis Simmons. It's a clean sweep for the defense. Outside of Lincoln Riley at the top, beating out D'Anton Lynn, I got Henderson over Henson. I got Doug Belk over Simmons. For the simple fact, I feel like it's harder to send players to the NFL out of Houston. He was doing it regularly than it is to send out of USC. And then I got Matt Ince, national championship. All the assistants is outbeating Lincoln Riley assistants. You know what I mean? It is clearly too. It's like clear, decisive victories too. Only one that ain't clear and decisive is Dennis Simmons and Doug Belk. If somebody said, "Nah, I'll take Dennis Simmons," I think then I won't argue too hard on that. But the defensive staff on paper, they got the offensive staff. So it's gonna be exciting to see or hear reports about how these practices go. I want to know who's gonna be winning in practice. Now I expect the offense to win in practice at the beginning, of course, because the slow install. I feel like the defense, they don't know what they doing. They learning the new defense and the offense in the same system. So the offense better come out buzzing and blitzing. The offense should blitz the defense this spring. Hit them like it. They should be having a field day on them. So we gonna see, and it's gonna be interesting, man. Offensive staff versus defensive staff. The defensive staff take this one, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'm gonna come with the part 3. We ain't done with the spring camp. I told y'all I'm loading them up. I'm doing 2 a day, sometime 3 a days. Y'all better be ready. Y'all better, when y'all see that Carter Sports notification, you see me in that feed, you better hit that. And if you ain't seen 2 videos in a day, you better go to my page because you probably didn't miss one. You hear me? So until then, it's Carter Sports, it's USC, it's Trojan City. So let's go.